"Fly this helicopter and I'll marry you," mocked the CEO, her laughter echoing through the rooftop as the wind from the rotors whipped her hair. She said it as a joke, a cruel one. The staff chuckled nervously, trying not to meet her eyes. But one person didn't laugh. The janitor, Samir, stood quietly in his worn-out uniform, his mop leaning against the wall. For a moment, he just stared at the helicopter. Then at her. And what happened next would change both of their lives forever. Before we dive deep into this unbelievable story of pride, pain, and redemption, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and stay till the end, because the twist will melt your heart and make you believe that destiny listens, even to those at the bottom. Samir had been working in the company for 3 years. Every day, he swept the same halls, emptied the same bins, and listened to the same executives talk about million-dollar deals as if the world revolved around them. But what no one knew was that Samir wasn't always a janitor. Once, he'd been an Air Force pilot trainee, until tragedy struck. A car crash took his parents' lives and left his younger sister in the hospital for months. He quit everything to take care of her. His dreams grounded permanently. So, when the new CEO, Alina Verma, bold, brilliant, and sharp-tongued, took over, Samir barely noticed her. Until that day on the rooftop. It was company anniversary day. The employees gathered to celebrate. Alina had arranged a surprise, a helicopter ride for the top managers. She strutted in, proud and confident, saying, "Flying this bird takes courage and class. Not everyone can handle power." Then her gaze landed on Samir, who was cleaning near the hangar door. "You there?" she called out, amused. "Ever flown one of these?" Samir smiled faintly. "Once or twice," he said softly. Her laughter rang loud. "Really? Tell you what, fly this helicopter, and I'll marry you." The crowd burst out laughing. Samir's eyes flickered with something she couldn't read. Pain, pride, or maybe both. He didn't answer. He just looked at the helicopter, then walked away quietly. The next day, Alina received a message from the aviation club her company sponsored, an emergency demonstration request. A VIP investor was arriving, and they needed a pilot for a test flight. The official pilot was sick. Panic spread. If the investor wasn't impressed, a major deal worth millions could collapse. Just then, a man in a clean blue jumpsuit walked into the hangar. It was Samir. "I can fly," he said calmly. Alina stared, shocked. "You?" He nodded. "You said you'd marry the man who could fly one, remember?" His voice was steady but carried a hint of emotion that pierced through her arrogance. The investor was arriving in 20 minutes. With no other option, Alina reluctantly agreed. "Fine, but if anything goes wrong, it's on you." As the blades spun and the machine lifted, the air filled with tension. Employees held their breath. Alina sat beside him, terrified, gripping her seat. Samir's hands, however, were steady, firm, confident. The helicopter rose smoothly, the city glittering below. He maneuvered through the wind like an artist painting the sky. Alina's fear melted into awe. How do you know this?" she asked, voice trembling. Samir didn't look at her. "Because once, this was my life. Before fate took it away." His words hit her harder than the wind outside. When they landed, applause erupted. The investor was beyond impressed. The deal was signed immediately. Everyone congratulated Alina, but her eyes were only on Samir, the janitor who just saved her company and her pride. Later that evening, she found him back in the janitor's room, cleaning his mop. "You could have told me," she whispered. "Would it have mattered?" he said without looking up. "People only see what they want to see, a title, a uniform, a job. Not the person behind it." Her eyes filled with tears. "I'm sorry. I was cruel." Samir smiled gently. "Maybe. But now you know that every person, no matter their position, carries a story you can't see." He turned to leave, but she stopped him. "Samir, about what I said, the joke." He chuckled softly. "Don't worry, ma'am. I'm not flying for marriage proposals anymore." But she didn't laugh. She stepped closer. "Maybe you should. Because you just flew into my heart." He froze, caught between disbelief and a rush of emotion. Her eyes glistened, no longer proud or mocking, but filled with sincerity. "Let's start over," she said. "Not as CEO and janitor, but as two people who understand pain, loss, and second chances." Samir's lips curved into a faint smile. All right. But this time, let's keep both feet on the ground. Weeks turned into months. Samir was promoted to Aviation Operations Manager. His story became an inspiration across the company, a symbol that talent and dignity don't wear uniforms. Alina and Samir worked side by side, building not just business success, but mutual respect and quiet affection. And one evening, on that same rooftop where it all began, Alina handed him a small model helicopter. For luck, she said, blushing. He smiled and whispered, for love. Then, to everyone's surprise, the helicopter lights flickered in the dusk sky, forming words across the air, will you marry me? Tears streamed down Alina's face. She nodded, laughing and crying all at once. Yes, she whispered. This time, no one laughed. Everyone clapped, because this wasn't a joke anymore. It was a story of redemption, humility, and love that rose from the ground and touched the sky.